Welcome
to
The
math path.
This is the episode where we learn about unit. So, unit is so important. It's so important. I didn't even change its name because the name is great. It has 4 letters. It's wonderful. Why is it important that it has 4 letters?
because of Urbit.
That's right. See, these are all, I have a difficult challenge. You know, who are these videos really for? Are they for adults? Are they for children? I've been asked this before. Are they for dogs? I was asking, yes, they're for dogs too. They're for computers, okay? They're for everybody, everyone and everything. So sometimes we're going through concepts that are so rudimentary. You're saying, yes, math path guy. Yes, I know about lists. Okay, I know what a list is. Yes, math path guy. I know how to take and look at 2 different things and pick the bigger one. Okay, hello. But then sometimes there's things, concepts that maybe your math teacher didn't teach you about, like this, okay? Which is, yeah, we're making some noise with the globs. The globs are doing things, and I don't know that there's any particular need for them to do.
They're sometimes noisy.
Okay, so back to the thing. Actually, no, we're still on a tangent, okay? Back to the tangent. I have a difficult challenge here because it's kind of, you know, who's it geared towards, right? But just stick with me. We're doing something new. We're trying to create this new beautiful thing. It's an art project. All right. So, the unit. Why do we need the unit? We're going to explain in a few different ways. So, because this is complicated. Like, basically, my claim is here. You just have 3. You just say 3. That's not really a number in a very rigorous way, okay? You have to have a measure. And the simplest measure is the unit. You have to have a unit. Every single thing, every single count needs a unit telling you, okay, great, a count of what? You gotta count a count of what? Otherwise, it's just this thing hanging. What are you doing? You're gonna knock over all those things. They're about to, look, have the camera show it and you can see. Look, these pencils are about to fall off the table. And I don't really understand why you're scooting them over there.
We're supposed to stay.
But just like you don't understand why there needs to be a unit. Here's why. Let's say you're measuring, you know, this table, okay? You're measuring this table or whatever, and you're measuring it, you know, with yards, and you say, okay, it's 1 yard long. And let's say you have a yardstick. No, I want the yardstick, and you can have the meters. I didn't even know you could pause it. Whoa, Annabelle, discovering advanced camera technology. So, I don't know when it was paused, so I'll just start over. Let's say you're measuring the side of your barn, okay? Because that's a little bigger. And I have a yardstick. You have a meter stick. Because I'm not interested in having a meter stick. And we both measure it, okay? And let's say we're gonna get a little bit different answer, right? If it's pretty small, we might get pretty much the same answer. We'll just have a little bit different of a leftover. You know, maybe I'll have 20 and some amount. You'll have 20 and some amount. If it's bigger, then maybe you're measuring something really big, the whole property. Maybe you'll get 200 meters, and then I'll get, I forget which.
I think with 20 you'd end up with a difference.
You end up with a different. I don't know how different.
A foot is
they are.
about 30 centimeters. So
About,
you get 90.
yes,
so a yard is about 90 centimeters. So that's 10 centimeters different with each yard measurement. So when you get to 20 of those yard measurements, that's another 2 meters of difference.
Okay, it's about.
So you're going to get 2 more yardsticks.
So
and I'll
you
get
remember.
meter sticks.
Okay,
If I get 20
okay,
meter
yeah.
sticks, you're going to get
I'll
22
get 22.
yardsticks.
If you measure 200 meters, I'll get 220 yards.
Something like that.
Okay?
Something like that.
Okay, so if we just say, okay, that that property line is 220, does that mean anything? No. N-O, no, you don't know because you don't know what you measured it with. It could have been anything, right? It could have been meters. It could have been yards.
It could have been inches.
It could have been like you're spreading out your arms and you're flipping yourself back and forth. And if you're 3 feet, especially about 3 feet, you're gonna get a similar answer. Keep your finger away from the camera and then it won't cover it up. And so anyway, you don't know. It could be anything. You could be measuring with some made up thing that you made up. Now earlier when we were talking about this, with Winifred, she understood this, she knew this, and she was very frustrated with this situation. She's saying, well, we're measuring with this string. Well, what if it's a different string? Is the string of the people watching the video going to be the same length? No, probably not. So is it still going to work? She answered, will it still work? Will it still make sense? And the answer, I hope I made clear in the video, N-O, no, it will not work. It will be meaningless to compare those measurements because you don't know what you're measuring with. You're measuring with two different things and you don't know what they are. And so that's, and maybe it's a little bit, so that's why you need unit. So let's explain it another way because maybe it's a little bit confusing to have it be so close together, like meters and yards. What in the world? This is we're having a lot of creativity on the part of the cameraman. They're reclining. Okay, so you can't see this, but it's very interesting.
Oh, I just had a comment on the
Okay,
units.
yeah, go for it.
Rose and I were doing something recently that she had pennies, and we were doing something like 7 cents minus 5 cents, and she'd write the answer 2, and I'd say, 2 what? 2 elephants?
Could be
And
anything.
write the cent sign.
I mean, what if it was 2 nickels, right? I mean, just to make it not nonsensical, like you could make that mistake. So let's say
$2.
Right. Let's say you were
was supposed to be $2 and change, but it was actually 2 cents.
Right.
Makes some difference.
You don't know. Yeah, it's like that ridiculous
That one video I watched about
tech support video
support.
about the difference between 0.02 cents, which is not the same as $0.02, and it showed up on this guy's phone bill, and he could not explain this to the tech support people who were even American or whatever, but they just couldn't. Like,
so it wasn't a language thing; it was a math thing. Yeah.
Anyways, so units make a big difference. So if you're measuring, let's say, in inches versus in miles, you measure something and you say, oh, this is 32 inches, or this is 32 miles. Those are totally different things. Or you can measure the same thing and say, okay, maybe this is 3 feet across or something, or 4 feet across, this table. Okay, let's say this table is 4 feet across. And then if you measure it in inches, what are you going to get? You'll get 48 inches. But if you're not, and so if you don't say the unit, you just say this table is 48 across. 48 what? You counted something, but you don't know what you were counting. It could have been anything. It's just this disconnected count floating out in the universe, in the solar system, as a free radical object. You don't know what it's doing. You don't know anything about it. So you need your unit. So it's always, even these simple integer numbers, you have to, technically there's always a 1 underneath it. It's actually 3 as measured by 1. And I don't know where my little 1 measurer is, but there's always an implicit 1. And if you want to be explicit, like a computer might appreciate, you got to put 3 over 1. You got to have a cell, an ordered pair of 3 and 1, or 5 and 1, or whatever, and 1. And because the 1 is the abstract unit. I shouldn't have gone into that. We shouldn't have said that. Forget about the 1. Keeping things a little more concrete, it has to be the same thing. It has to be apples. You have to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges, not inches to feet. Unless you know the conversion factor, you can't do it. If you know the conversion factor, then you can convert it so that then it is the same. Then it is the same. But you have to have the same unit for both before you can do anything. Is this making sense or no?
Yeah, kind of.
And so when you have, and so that's why this critical thing, I'm going to call it, you have the cow. You reach the end of your ord and you get a cow. That's your count. Okay, you have a cow. And then you also have a unit, which tells you what a cow of what. Hello, of what? What did you just count? What are you talking about? And you put those together, the cow and the unit, and you get a mooc. And the mooc is going to be our fundamental building block of all the mathematical universe. You have moocs, okay? It's a, what is it?
A
It's two things.
unit and